Why did you quit your job and go back to college? Is it really worth it? Don't you think it's time for you to settle down rather than take a risk to study abroad? You're not that young. Have you thought about that? When I chose to quit my job and go studying in communication leadership in UW, I always get those questions from people nearby, or maybe from myself. I'm an experienced working professional. I have been working 5 years as a journalist, and these 2 years I'm mainly focused on documentaries. So before I came to Comm Lead, I know that I'm different because I'm old. Well, aging is not that negative thing. I know that I have accumulated a lot of my experience and also skills. But it's true that sometimes I feel that I was not as energetic as when I was 20. It's like ups and downs. Sometimes I think I'm brave enough to explore the world, but sometimes I'm just uncertain about myself, especially during this challenging time. Luckily that in Comm Lead, I found a lot of a person who have the same experience as me. According to the chart on our website, over 50% of my classmates have been working for several years before going back to college. So I think why not talking to them to get inspirations from them? Maybe that they will help me to figure out that is it worth it to go back to college at my 30s, 40s. I think we can first start by exchanging our journey to Comm Lead.
Yeah, okay. So I actually have your questions in front of myself.
This is Mikano. I met her in one class. Her story really leaves an impression on me.
Before I came here, I was working as a marketing and PR manager, and that was for an airline.
Mikano's career went well and busy during 2019 because that's an expansion of airline industry.
I always had a packed suitcase in my apartment, ready to go for my next business trip. And I only bought clothes that will not get wrinkled because I was always traveling. I had to pack my dresses, suits and everything. Once I get to my destination, I have to iron, right? It's a waste of time. So anyway, I was that busy, but I really enjoyed what I was doing. And also, I was happy knowing that I was making a positive impact.
However, in 2020, everything has changed.
Everything really got quiet almost overnight. The airline I used to work for had around 150 flights a week to Japan. But at some point in 2020, there was no flight at all. So I was a little bit even scared because there was so much change in my life. I was running and thinking and doing things all at the same time. I was always multitasking, right? But suddenly it's got quiet. I said I got scared, but at the same time, it gave me an opportunity and time to look inside and think about myself. Finally, I don't know. I did that for the first time in I don't know how many years. And then thought about, what's being put on hold in my life? I thought about it. And then I always wanted to come to America to study my professional field. And then, I thought this may be the time for me to do that, work on my dream.
Yes, risk is sometimes an opportunity as long as you see it from long term. And especially girls, they have the pressure of getting married at the age of 30, probably have a baby after that and get stable in your life. I'm struggle with these things, though I think my parents, they are very give me a lot of freedom, but still I have that pressure too.
I would be lying if I said I hadn't felt that kind of pressure, but I'm kind of over it already. And also, I want you to think about it because you are much younger than I am. And then is it the pressure you're putting it yourself, or is it really your parents putting this pressure on you?
Both, I think. But me, I think I have given myself much pressure too. It's about the background or the society. I feel.
Okay, let me answer your question from a different angle. So before I came here to Seattle, it was okay for me to be different from other people. Before I came here, I thought, oh, it's okay for me to be different from other people in Japan, because I'm probably a bit different, right? But then again, everybody is actually different.
Yeah.
Now I think it is better that you are different from other people. It's better. You should be, actually, because do you want another you in the world? No, eh? You want to be different so that you can contribute to the world in your own unique way. That's your life, right? So it's okay to be different. I mean, it's better for you to be different from other people.
Though Mikano told the story very calmly, I can feel the courage and braveness from her. Yeah, so until now, have you know about after the program, your direction? You're gonna still go back to the same industry or try something new?
One of my professional and life goals is to become a teacher. So I'm actually from a family of teachers. Once I finish this program, I want to become an educator, a teacher in Japan, especially teach young women in Japan, what I have learned here. And also I want to combine my practical work experiences in the field of marketing and communication and also PR, and what I learned here, synthesize those and then become an educator and a leader, good leader. Teaching is to serve people, right? And to serve people, to better serve people, you want to be a better leader. You lead people, right? So everything, put together, and I want to be a good educator.
Then I talked with Hilary. She is going through a transition in career, but it's not very smooth.
I am 33, so I've been out of college for over a decade. And I started my career in sales and corporate sales. So I sort of fell into that, and I ended up, I was hoping that I was going to kind of start in sales, learn, and maybe move into marketing and see what happened. And what just ended up happening was I just got more sales opportunities, which was fine. And I did enjoy elements of that work, but I really knew, I think deep down, that it wasn't where I wanted to end up in my career. So I've been sort of trying to pivot. And I've been successfully pivoting, but it's just been happening slowly.
Meanwhile, she is starting a family that's really sweet, but also challenging.
But then all the while, the other element in my life has been my personal life, which has involved, I'm married now. I've been in a relationship with my now husband for a long time, and he has his own kind of career path that has been a little bit challenging for me because he's been in medicine. So he was in medical school, and then he had to do his medical residency, and he's sort of subject to wherever they would tell him to go for that. And so I always there were just that sort of complicated my my own. It was already hard for me to figure out exactly where I wanted to go, but I was like, oh, well, I'm going to have to move for his residency in a year. So it always felt like there was a reason for me to just stay where I was. So that has been at play, I think, too. I think as part of like how to balance when you're both two working professionals and you're in a partnership, like how do you, it can be hard to make these changes.
Hilary chose to quit her job and move with her husband again, but this chance gave her time to think about what she really needed the most.
I really got back to the drawing board. I took a little bit of time and thought, the next job I get, I want it to be really relevant to what I'm trying to, the direction I'm trying to move into. And I found the Comm Lead program, and because I also realized like one of the things that I thought was holding me back a little from really getting into marketing and communications work was not feeling like I had that formal training. So when I encountered the Comm Lead program, it spoke to so many things that I was interested in. And I felt like it would give me the training and the kind of practicum sort of experience and confidence, I think, develop a portfolio and all of that.
Or do you worry like you start at not a very young compared to other just new graduates from school? Do you worry about this kind of thing?
The answer is yes, that does become a worry, and you just kind of you hope that it works out better than that.
Since Hilary already built a family, having kids is already in the plan.
I feel very conscious of my own, because I would like to have kids. I don't know if it'll work out or not, but like I'm 33, so that is something, just because of biology, you feel like, man, the biggest pressure that I've always felt as a woman has been to make sure that you get those career decisions done early so that you are already on your path and you're like really well on your way, and that you started something you really love before you have kids, because it's hard. It's always hard to like come back to work and all that. That's that balance. People balance a lot of things with having children. Watching my husband in his medical residency, which is a very challenging time. I watched a lot of his female colleagues have kids and still like work these crazy hours at the hospital. And I'm like, if they can do that, then I can figure it out too. So, but fortunately, Comm Lead, I think there are a lot of people that have done that. I've seen, like, one of your questions is about like, have I built community? And it's only been one quarter so far, but I have, and I've seen some other like different parts of different cohorts actually, but people in my class that have a baby, that you see the baby like appears in your Zoom session, and you're like, oh. So I'm like, okay, I've made some connections with people, and I think it'll be beneficial to stay in contact with some of those people so that I can ask advice if it ever happens with me. So and people just figure it out, and it takes support from your community.
Niharika is such an amazing mom who is taking care of her kids while studying in India.
I have a small son, and also, so it's probably not that easy. Here in India, I didn't have like much problem, to be honest, because family is always here to support me, be it my in-law or my family itself. But back in the States, it was a bit difficult. I rejoined with the spring quarter, and my son was then maybe 4 months old. So I used to look after him during the day, and then while he slept at night, I used to work on my assignments and my course curriculum and everything. So this is how I manage. Since he'd be busy working, though it's fortunate that he's currently working from home as well because of the COVID conditions. And that is something that has been, for me, it has been a blessing, because he had been at home to at least not, properly take care of him, but I could keep him under his supervision when he was asleep, or
Yeah.
there were times when I could leave him while he was asleep, so that at least something or somebody is, around him to just,
Mm.
I can say, like, you just change when you become a mother, and it comes naturally to you. Nobody can teach you that sort of
I don't know. I doubt
yeah.
that. I don't know if I can do that. I think your story is really amazing. Like going back to college uh to working on something you're interested while you're building up a family. Is it very common thing in your neighborhood? I mean, in India, in your friends, among your friends?
I haven't come across, yeah, to be honest, I haven't come across anybody who has completely changed their line of stream and started studying again. Everybody is well settled now. They're already in their jobs. Be it my closest friends or family members, like they have been,
Mm,
in their
yeah.
jobs say, by like 5 years from last 10 years or something.
Mm, yeah.
So when I got like while I was accepting that I would be moving to a different country and
Mm,
starting all over again, I wasn't hesitant because the experiences that I would be having would be very different from my friends and family would be having here in India. I would get an opportunity to learn. I have I have always craved for learning, be it during my college days or my university days. So this is something that doesn't bother me. Like if you give me an option to study or to look after my baby, I'll definitely choose, to
mm,
study. And I'll ask somebody specifically from my family to be there with me and support me so that we can together look after my child, right? And or take some, the only challenge in my mind was the fear that what if I don't get a chance to study, or what if I don't get a chance to explore myself. And
So you have concerns about like after graduation, going back to the workplace?
I do not have any concerns about starting anew. I think when I came here, I was already prepared by the fact that I would have to start everything new since I would be moving to a new country. So that thought had been in the back of my mind, and I had prepared myself that I would have to start anew. I had given up that, like my previous jobs and everything, because I could see the scope of learning and growing in a very different environment, be it a social environment or financial environment. Everything is so much different there as compared to here in India. So yeah, like personally, I had completely, given into the situation and accepted like what's to come is to come, because I was open to change and learn everything that I could.
In the end of the conversation, I'm gonna share some inspirations from Mikano about starting over again.
Well, anyways, when you go back to school, for example, I don't want you to think that you are starting over again. You're not like getting rid of whatever you have had in your life, all the experiences. You are taking everything with you to come here. So it's not like you chop yourself from your past and start something totally new. You have all these experiences, full of experiences in your life already. So you will come here to study, but with bringing all those experiences. So you're not starting over. You're not starting from nothing. You have already got a lot in your life. So don't worry.